Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I wasn't invited to my own sister's wedding. They sent out 92 invitations, even one for the neighbor's parakeet, but mine was lost. When I asked, Mom said, "It was an oversight. You were meant to get one." An hour later, my sister accidentally texted our family chat, "Real talk, the bird's a better guest than him." I replied, "Great," froze the $2,800 fund, flagged every supplier, and walked into City Hall with a dossier. I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding. You? At the wedding? Don't be absurd, Mom said, not looking up from the soup she was stirring. They probably thought you wouldn't bother coming. It was 7:04 a.m. I'd brought her tea, like I had every Saturday for years. I didn't ask, just showed up, helped, silently, always. "Didn't you once call weddings glorified scams?" she added with a thin, judgmental smirk. "No, I never said that. I funded it. $12,800. That's what I sent Clara over 5 months to cover costs. The venue, the decor, the deposit for her gown. But somehow the neighbor's pet bird got an invite. Not me." "It was a mistake," Mom said, her voice softer now. I didn't reply. I left the room. A plan was already forming in my mind. An hour later, I was in my truck when the family chat blew up. I checked it. Clara. Real talk. The bird's a better guest than him. There it was. I typed, "Great," and sent it. Then I opened my banking. App, wedding fund, locked, catering payment, halted, florist deposit, marked for review, venue manager, notified of a potential scam alert. Every contract was in my name. Then I gathered evidence, a binder with every transaction, every signed document, every screenshot. I walked into City Hall, got in line, waited my turn. I wasn't on the guest list. Fine. Now the wedding wouldn't happen at all. Let them try celebrating without me, or my money. They didn't see me as a person. I was a utility, like heat or cable. Something you don't notice, just assume will function. It had been like this for years. I was the one who succeeded, got a solid career, never moved back home after university, stayed focused, and paid my dues. But somehow, reliable became exploitable, and exploitable became expected. Clara knew that better than anyone. It started small. She forgot to cancel her yoga app subscription for 8 months, which I paid for. Then she lost her lease and needed a month's rent. That stretched to 6. Then came the student loan. Then her share of Mom's eye surgery. Each time she'd say, "I'll pay you back soon, I promise." But I never expected repayment. They never intended it. Dad would jest, "Looks like we raised a financier." He'd pat my back like it was a badge of honor. Mom would say, "You're such a gift to this family. You always step up." It felt kind, until you noticed it always preceded a favor. And Clara? She mastered the art. Her go-to? The quivering, tearful voice note. "I hate asking, but I'm out of options. Things have been tough." I had 26 of those saved. I counted. But the wedding? That's where it snapped. This wasn't just money. It was betrayal. After I froze the funds, I waited. Hoped someone might reach out, explain. Instead, I got a social media alert. My mom posted a photo of Clara in her gown, holding a flute. Caption: "So proud of our daughter. She's making it happen solo. Self-made. Family matters." I nearly spat out my tea. Solo? With whose cash? Then came the kicker. A clip in the family chat. Clara spinning in her dress, bridesmaids giggling. Her text below: "So excited for the big day. Too bad some people choose grudges over invites." Followed by, "Anyway, it'll be perfect, thanks to everyone who supported me." The same people I paid. Florist, photographer. Even the baker, who called me 3 weeks ago because the payment failed. I replied, "My pleasure." No one answered. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. "Can we meet?" It was Ethan. He showed up looking like he hadn't slept in a week. Sat down, hands clasped, eyes on the floor. "She said the money came from a family friend," he said. "I thought your parents chipped in." I stayed quiet. "Then the suppliers called," he went on. "They said payments failed. Your name was on the contracts." I showed him the proof, bank records, invoices, screenshots. He slumped back, stunned. "She lied to me," he whispered. Without prompting, he showed me a group chat. Bride crew. There it was. "Clara, if my brother shows up, I'll call the bouncer. He's so toxic. Thinks sending money buys him a role. Pathetic. Another bridesmaid. He's not even invited? That's cold, lol. Another. Bet he still sends a present. Ethan looked at me. I didn't know any of this. I believed him. He was too shaken to lie. As he left, he paused. You don't deserve this, he said. They cast you as the bad guy in a story you funded. I watched him go, and realized they never expected me to push back. They thought I'd watch the wedding online like a distant observer, nod, cheer from afar, maybe send a blender. They didn't know I had a dossier. They didn't know I was done. The air in the venue was thick, stiflingly warm. String lights twinkled from every rafter, and vases filled with lavender sprigs created a facade of elegance. It was the wedding Clara always dreamed of. Vintage, romantic, tailored for social media. Too bad she didn't pay for it. The rehearsal dinner was in full swing when I arrived. I wasn't on the guest list. Didn't need to be. I had proof. Literal proof. I stood at the entrance for a full minute before anyone noticed. Guests were toasting. A girl in a cream silk dress was crying over a torn hem. A cousin was debating gluten allergies. The DJ was tweaking the sound system. It looked flawless from outside, like any polished deception. Then Clara saw me. Her smile faltered, just slightly. Then she stood, still clutching her napkin. Why are you here? She hissed, striding toward me. I brought a present, I said, tapping the USB in my jacket. Her face went pale. No. You're not doing this now. You didn't want me at your wedding, I said. But you didn't mind using my money for it. I brushed past her, headed to the tech booth. The guy managing the visuals raised an eyebrow. I'm the brother, I said, holding up the USB. My moment. The lights dimmed, the music stopped. A few tipsy guests jeered, thinking it was part of the evening. Then the first slide hit the projector in stark white text on black. This wedding was built on deceit. Silence. Some chuckled, then froze. Because slide 2 hit harder. Screenshots of my transfers, bank apps, wire confirmations, credit statements. Labeled, gown deposit, $1,600, DJ fee, $800, venue hold, $4,000, and more. Then a total, bold, $12,797. 63. My name on every line. Murmurs started. You could feel the shift. Slide 3. Chat messages, the bride's crew. Clara, he thinks throwing cash gets him a spot. Nope, I didn't invite a bank account. Bridesmaid 1. That's ruthless, lol. Bridesmaid 2. He's really not coming? Savage. Clara. Even my parakeet ranked higher. Then the audio. Her voice from a message 4 weeks back. You're saving this wedding. You're amazing. Don't tell anyone I said that. Gotta keep the vibe. The room went dead. You could hear a fork clink against a glass across the space. My father stood. His voice was a storm. Shut that off. I turned. Steady. Why? Don't like your portfolio update? He stepped closer. You think this is a game? I think it's justice. You took my place. Now I'm taking the stage. Slide 4. My mother's voice, recorded from a call, where she justified my exclusion. It's not about you. Clara didn't want you in the pictures. Honestly, I get it. The silence shattered. Aunt Linda gasped. Cousin Mark muttered, Damn. I stepped forward. For years, I said, I paid. Quietly. No complaints. Every medical bill, every car fix, Clara's overdraft, Mom's phone bill, Dad's golf trips. I never spoke up. Slide 5. Images of receipts. Notes from Clara. You're a lifesaver. You're keeping me afloat. You're the only one I rely on. I paused, looked around. You didn't forget me. You erased me and swapped me for a bird. A nervous laugh from the back. Then quiet again. That's when Ethan, the groom, stood. He looked broken. You said he refused to come, he said to Clara. You said he harassed you. She opened her mouth, shut it, said nothing. He looked at me. She told me you weren't even part of this. I nodded at the screen. She also called me pathetic to her friends, said I'd send a gift anyway. Want that slide again? He faced her. I don't know who I'm marrying. Then he slipped off his ring, held it up, set it on the table. Right on the printed guest list. I'm done. Gasps, shouts. Someone dropped a glass. The venue hummed with raw tension, like a storm about to break. Mom stood, grabbing his arm. Ethan, don't. It's just a misunderstanding. No, he said. It's a scam. He walked out. Half the bridal party trailed him. The DJ disconnected the system. The screen went blank. Dad was still standing, trembling. "You're not family," he spat. "You're poison." I looked at him, gave a small, sharp smile. "No," I said. "I'm the cure." Then I walked out, not rushed, measured, composed, like someone leaving a collapsing structure with the fuse in hand. Behind me, I heard tables shifting, arguments, someone crying, a bridesmaid yelling about the ruined vibe, but I didn't look back. They didn't invite me. But now? They'd never erase me. I left that venue like I'd walked out of a blaze I'd ignited. No one followed. No shouts, no pleas, no last-second apologies. Just the faint sound of a glass, tipping over and Clara weeping, her world fracturing. Good. I didn't drive home. I drove onward. The next morning, I woke at 7:13 a.m. No alarm, no dread. I brewed tea in my quiet loft, sat by the window, and waited for the fallout. It came fast. 8:42 a.m., my phone buzzed. 22 missed calls. 5 from Mom, 3 from Dad. The rest? Clara. Mom's first voicemail was tearful. Not from heartbreak, from losing grip. "Why would you ruin your sister's moment?" The moment I paid for. Dad's next. His voice didn't waver. It thundered. "You got your revenge. Satisfied? You destroyed everything." That made me chuckle. Nothing was destroyed. I just paused a lie they'd built for years. Clara didn't leave voicemails, just texts. "You're vile. You humiliated me. Do you care how this makes you look?" Oh, I cared. That's why I wasn't finished. That afternoon, I opened the binder. The binder. Started the year Clara asked me to cover her urgent car repair, then spent the money on a music festival. Inside, screenshots of every transfer, texts where she misled me, voice notes. My mother's message pleading for a little support for Clara's therapy. Bank records tying me to every wedding vendor. Even an old email from Dad. "Don't be so soft about cash. Help your sister. It's what brothers do." I compiled it into a PDF. Titled it, "The Cost of Kin." Then I posted it. No dramatic flair. No tags. Just a cold, quiet upload to a social platform. Public to friends. And their friends. And family. All of them. Then I logged out. But the internet never rests. By the next day, the post had 16,000 views. 280 comments. Messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years. A high school friend wrote, "Your story hit me hard. Thanks for speaking up." A cousin I hadn't seen in a decade said, "They pulled the same on me. I just didn't have proof." I didn't respond, didn't need to. That night, a wedding vendor messaged. The DJ. He refunded me without prompting, said he didn't want to be tied to that mess. Then the photographer reached out, said she was thinking of dropping Clara's contract entirely. Called the wedding's energy tainted. One by one, suppliers started bailing. Even the bakery canceled. And I didn't lift a finger. 3 days later, a knock at my door. I didn't open it. It was my father. I watched through the peephole. He stood there for 6 minutes. Not knocking, just waiting. Then he slid a note under the door. Not an apology. A bargain. "You had your spotlight. Let's end this. You made your point. Come to the rescheduled wedding." I stared at the paper. He thought this was about a place at the event, that I'd crawl back after my moment. That time and silence would restore their facade. No, I didn't want a place. I torched the whole setup. That night, I posted again. This time, videos. Clips from old family gatherings where I was mocked. A holiday where Clara got gifts and I got a scolding. A recording from a drive where Dad said, "No one needs a saint. Step up or step out." I ended the video with, "This isn't about a wedding. It's about a lifetime. A cycle. A family that only calls when your bank account answers. You don't owe loyalty to those who demand your silence. If they call that betrayal, let them." By morning, the post had exploded. 2 blogs asked for interviews. A forum thread about it hit 2,800 comments. People tagged event planners, counselors, finance advisors. The story wasn't mine alone anymore. It belonged to others too. That's when Clara went all out. She posted a 6-minute video on social media, crying. Raw, unfiltered. Called me controlling, said I was exploiting pain. That I was punishing a bride for not inviting her brother. At the end, she said, "He's not the victim. He's just resentful. He always wanted to be the star. This is envy, nothing else." But people saw through it. Someone commented, "You're crying in a $1,000 gown he paid for. Take a seat." Another, "He's got proof. You've got tears." That ended her pity campaign. Last I checked, she'd gone private. Mom texted that night, "I don't know what you hope to gain. Families clash, but we heal. That's what counts." No. I wanted to reply, "What counts is truth and accountability." But I didn't reply, because I was already planning something else. It's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks since I left that twinkling venue. 6 weeks since I burned a decade of guilt, duty, and forced silence to ash. And guess what? Nothing collapsed. The world didn't end. I didn't unravel. No one dragged me back into the role they'd assigned me. Instead, something amazing happened. Calm, no more voice notes. No more cash grabs disguised as one-time needs. No more chats where I'm only valued if I'm paying. Just quiet. And I've never felt so complete. I relocated, discreetly. A new town, a smaller space. But it's mine. No forwarding address, no doormat. Just a buzzer with a small note beside it. Not open for unpaid debts. And I meant it. The venture I'd been quietly building for a year, I launched it. Not for them, for me. A tech consulting firm. Streamlined, sharp, and lucrative. Work solo, I pick my clients, and I no longer bankroll anyone's fantasies but my own. A week after launching, I posted publicly. Not for vengeance, for ownership. I used to think loyalty meant staying quiet. Now I know. Loyalty without respect is slavery. I'm done being a servant. It went viral. Again. A few niche blogs covered it. One titled it, "The Wedding That Unmasked a Family and Forged a Future." Fitting. As for Clara, she tried to reframe it, naturally. Posted vague stories about shedding people as you evolve, and outrunning negativity. No one bought it. Her followers dwindled. Her blog, still at 38 readers, comments disabled. And Ethan? He messaged me 2 weeks after the fallout. 3 words. "You freed me." I didn't reply. He didn't need one. Some truths settle best in silence. Then came a note from my aunt. The only one who ever half stood up for me at family events. Some of us noticed. We just didn't know how to do. Too little. Far too late. I didn't respond. But I saved it. In a folder labeled, "Acknowledgement isn't readmission." My rule now. Because they'll try. They always do. They'll probe the gate. A tag on an old memory. A heart on a work post. A tentative comment. "So proud of you." Like nothing happened. Like the blade never twisted. But I've changed the locks. They're not reachable anymore. I didn't just block. I erased their access entirely. No entry. And in its place, a new line, new number, one contact saved, myself. One day I passed a print shop and stopped. On a whim, I went in, ordered a plaque, black background, white font, sleek finish. I hung it outside my new office door the next day. It says, "Built by the overlooked." A small jab, a quiet sting. Because yes, they overlooked me. But I recalled every slight, and I built from it. From the voice notes, the exclusions, the manipulation, the "we're family" trap. I turned it into focus, into drive, into the one thing they'd never take again. Independence. This time, I didn't seek atonement. I didn't seek resolution. I became it. So if you're reading this, and you're where I was, bearing everyone's load and still called useless, here's my word. You don't have to burn yourself to warm others. Some only love you when you're usable. Cut the cord. Then build your own. With tougher steel. I wasn't invited. But now, I own the stage.